Good morning, everyone, and welcome. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the pre-stream podcast. Welcome to DSP Gaming. How you doing? It's Friday. Did you know that? No? What, do you live in a cave? You don't know what day it is? What's wrong with you? Pull out a calendar. Everyone has a phone now. Your phone has the day on it. How could you not know today was Friday? Today is the 29th of April, 2022. That's right, we're down to the nitty-gritty. We're down to the end of April, if you can believe it. We're almost there. It's almost over. It's been a heck of a spring-filled month. Thinking back over the month is like, damn, this month really flew by for me anyway. I don't know about you guys. I spent so much time planning and doing, we're going to do something special for my birthday week and everything. Next thing you know, it's friggin' May. What happened? I don't know. I really don't know what happened this month, huh? So, good morning. Welcome to the weekend. For those of you who actually have a weekend, not to say that there isn't a weekend for everyone, but some people actually get to enjoy it and some people don't. I was in the latter boat where a lot of the jobs and things that I did over my lifetime were things that I had to do on the weekend. So really, when everyone else was saying, oh, it's the weekend, it's time to take time to relax and sit back and have a cold one and maybe do some stuff with the family or my significant other, maybe travel, have a nice weekend where I go do something interesting, or just sit back and relax. For me, it was like I got to work all weekend. For a lot of my younger days, school all week, work all weekend. Literally no time to do anything until basically I scheduled it, So I hear you guys, if that's what happens for you, all right? If not, well, then welcome to the weekend. A lot of people actually tune into my stuff on the weekends because they have opportunity to have more time to relax and just have a good one. And this weekend, I got what you crave. I got variety in games. I got big epic hype. I got all kinds of stuff going on, all right? So I hope you guys are ready for an exciting weekend, because I know that I am, all right? And of course, welcome to the pre-stream podcast where we discuss all that stuff, okay? In particular, on today's pre-stream podcast, there's not too much news, per se, to really talk about. Excuse me. There's a little bit of, I guess, disappointment in the gaming community this morning. We'll talk a little bit about that. I don't really understand why. Games-wise, today we're doing something interesting with a free DLC that I was hoping would have come out a little bit sooner, I guess. But I guess what they say, better late than never, right? So, excuse me. Should be a chill one. Maybe having a lot of opportunity here for some Q&A and interaction and stuff like that. Of course, gameplay-wise today will be an interesting mix with what will likely be very chill fun here on the first stream. Returning to Bug Snacks for the first time in a year and a half. And then later tonight, my weekly Throwback Street Fighter session is always a good time as well, right? You going to see Bad Guys again, Jade? You liked it that much, huh? Cool. Well, enjoy. It's actually nice to finally see people doing things normal again, to see life get back to normal. After the whole COVID pandemic for over 2 years, right? Finally. Things are getting back to normal. People are doing normal stuff, traveling again. This is excellent. I always love hearing my viewers are doing fun stuff, and then sharing those experiences on stream with us all. When they get back from doing the fun stuff, and now I actually get to hear that again instead of I'm just sitting at home for 2 years, trying not to get sick. It was a rough one. It was a rough one. Still, the Shadows. I haven't worn a mask in over a year. I'm trying to think. When did they... I can't even remember when they lowered our mask mandate here in Washington State. A couple months ago, I think. I seriously can't even remember anymore. It's all a blur. Like, really. It kind of screwed up everyone's sense of time, in a way. Before COVID, there always used to be these different seasons. There always used to be these different time frames where things would happen at a set pace, and you'd always expect them. And think of all the things that have changed, during COVID, right? Like, just gaming-wise, right? There always used to be E3 season. And E3 season was exciting. It was May, June, July, where basically you'd have E3, and around E3, all these other announcements about games. This was your season to, if you were a gamer, man, you were excited in the early summer months because you were going to get information on all the hot new games coming out, primarily focused on E3. And now it doesn't even exist anymore. E3 is completely gone. Everyone's just kind of willy-nilly throwing information out on the internet about their games. You don't even know. Like, here we are. We're about to be starting May 2022, right? And if you look at the gaming release calendar for the year, there's like, it's empty. You don't even know what games are coming out this year. We assume certain games are coming out, but we don't even have like set dates for most, even the big high profile releases like God of War. We don't know anything. Starfield, we haven't even seen any gameplay yet. Of course, they just announced that there will be the Bethesda showcase in June for all their new releases, and likely the entirety of the showcase is going to end up being Starfield, because when else are they going to talk about it, right? It's coming out in the fall, supposedly. So, but I think you see my point. This used to be the time of year where it was like every game is getting all information, everything. Now it's like everything's kind of disorganized, chaotic, right? It's kind of weird because in a lot of ways there haven't been normal holidays in years, and now they're coming back in full force, and everyone's celebrating again, which is excellent. I'm so happy that people could do that and not have to worry about getting sick, right? Anyway, I'm just kind of ranting here on the pre-stream today, aren't I? All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let us talk. Let's talk about the schedule. Today's kind of... I just turned pink. Hold on. Can I turn off the white balance while I'm not bright pink? It's pretty weird that the camera thinks I want to be pink. Like, why would I... In what circumstance would I want to be bright pink exactly? Nice white adjustment. Anyway, let's talk about what we're doing for the weekend, shall we? Today, Friday, we got the return of Bugsnax to my streams. A game that was a launch title for PlayStation 5. Admittedly, Bugsnax was kind of a running joke. If you remember, the entire year of 2020, everyone just joked constantly about Bugsnax, that it was going to be the best title ever for PlayStation 5, an amazing launch title, is going to blow your socks off. You know, who cares about Demon's Souls when you got Bugsnax, right? But then, when it actually came out, it ended up being shockingly, surprisingly good. An interesting world with characters that felt very well written, because they weren't just one-dimensional. They had all these different backstories and emotions and things that you didn't expect to be in a game like this. The complexity of actually catching the Bugsnax was interesting. These puzzles you basically had to solve to catch each one. Had this ongoing element of mystery and suspense, and then at the end, horror. It was very much an adult game. Like, I actually said at the end of Bugsnax, man, I feel bad for a kid who is playing this game, or like a parent who's like, oh, here, I'm going to get you this game for PlayStation 5, Bugsnax, and you get halfway through, you're like, oh, what is going on? Uh-oh. And the kid's like, hey, well, I want to beat the game. And the parent's like, no, I looked what the end of the game is. Nah, we can't beat it. You just got to sit here endlessly catching the Bugsnax, never get to the ending. I loved it. I thought it was one of the best games of the year. I seriously didn't. I could say that with a straight face. It was so original and different and not what I was expecting. It blew me away. But one of the things that I said when it all ended, because it is a pretty decent length game for what it was that, man, I wish that they would make a sequel or an expansion, because it was so good. It was so shockingly good that it kind of left you wanting more. You know what I'm saying? And so when it ended, it was kind of bittersweet. And then we didn't hear from Bugsnax for about a year. All we heard is that it was a good seller. Well, yeah, it was the PS Plus game. You know, it was the game that you got on PS Plus for free when you bought your PS5. It was a no-brainer to play it. So, time passes and passes and passes, and we do hear that they are working on something, Bugsnax, but we're not sure what. They never really allude to anything. Now, all of a sudden, we get notice that there's going to be a DLC expansion for the thing. And admittedly, when they announced it, I was both excited, but then kind of a little disappointed. Because today we're going to check it out. It's called the Isle of Bigsnax. Okay? It is not a standalone DLC. It is not a giant expansion DLC. What it essentially is a little bit of extra content. 2 to 3 hours. It's basically one new region to the Bugsnax Island. And it's apparently focused on very large Bugsnax and finding a way to capture them, because as you know, catching Bugsnax is basically a puzzle. Each one you got to figure out, solve the puzzle. Now, I was thinking about this, and I was like, you know, this is going to probably be challenging for me. I haven't played Bugsnax since launch. It's been a year and a half, and I know, I'm trying to remember in my head. I'm like, okay, so there's different gadgets, right? Like, I remember you could set up these tripwires of different types, and the tripwires would sometimes stop the Bugsnax or stun them, and then you had to catch them. But how did you catch them? See, I can't even. It's been a year and a half. I got to think about this, and when we jump into the game, I know I'm going to be fumbling around trying to figure out how to do this. What I did like about the game is that it had a cuteness to it. You know, you think Pokemon, but then, of course, when you find out what's really going on, it ain't so cute anymore. It's pretty freaking creepy. But it's a great game. And I liked it more than most, I think. I really do. I feel that I liked it more. A lot of people kind of wrote it off, saying, oh, it's a kid's game or whatever, when it really wasn't. People just didn't give it a shot. And then when people actually tried it, you know, when other people had played it and said, nah, you got to try it. It's so weird. And you play it, you're like, oh, my God, what the heck? Like, what is going on with this thing? So, today we're doing the Isle of Bugsnax DLC. Excuse me, the Isle of Bigsnax DLC. Now, this could go one of two ways. Either it's fun, it's interesting, I jump right back in, and basically I kind of figure or remember how to do it within a few minutes here, and we get into and we explore the island, we're catching the different Bugsnax, we're having a good time, and it ends up being a nice chill stream, a one-off stream, okay? Or it could go the other way. And the other way is I jump in, and I can't figure out how to play it, because it's been so long, I'm kind of fumbling around, and I look stupid, and basically it takes like an hour for me to get back into the groove of how to play the game and figure stuff out. And if that's the case, I don't even know if I'll beat the DLC today. You know, I have a 3-hour stream if it's supposed to be 2 to 3 hours, but it takes me an hour to figure out how to play it. Maybe I'm going to need another stream. I don't think it'll be another daytime stream, but likely maybe like a night stream coming up to finish it up. Okay? My hope is that it is enjoyable for you. Okay? If you remember the original Bugsnax playthrough, it was a combination of cute gameplay with cute creatures, ingenious puzzle solving in order to catch said creatures, and a lot of interaction with you guys. That was, I think, one of the keys to success in the original Bugsnax playthrough, is that you guys chilled with me while I did it. It wasn't just about me being hyper-focused on the game. It was kind of a 50-50 deal, okay? Although, admittedly, I do remember when I played Bugsnax at first, when I continued to play the game, what I mean by that is everyone expected me to play Bugsnax at launch because it was on PS Plus for play at PS5. Everyone wanted to see the launch titles for PS5, right? If I hadn't played Bugsnax, people probably would have given me a hard time and said, why didn't you play one of the big launch titles? There we go. I don't know what was up with the members goal was like overlapping the line there. I think I got it more aligned now. Okay. Not the members goal, the leaderboard, excuse me. But then, when I continued to play Bugsnax as an ongoing playthrough, some people actually gave me shit for it. They were like, why are you still playing this? We get what it is, you know. Why are you wasting your time? And I'm like, wasting my time? Like, do you not understand what I do here? Do you understand what I do? I'll tell you what I do, all right? I am an entertainer, all right? Everyone knows that. If I wasn't entertaining, no one would be here. And everyone finds different ways to be entertained by my content. Whether it's you like me and my personality and you just like chilling with me on a stream. Whether you enjoy the fact that I play games and you like to see my honest reactions to them. Whether you just use my content as a way to see exposure. Get exposed to new games that you're not going to play yourself to make a determination if maybe you want to play them yourself in the future. Right? Some people just like to laugh at my misfortunes. They watch games where I fail, where I flub it, where I die a million times, and they get enjoyment out of that too. Everyone basically finds a way to get some kind of entertainment factor out of this channel. Why else would you be here If you didn't find DSP gaming entertaining, you wouldn't be on DSP gaming, right? Well, I guess some people are just stupid if they're still here. And they don't like it. You know, I don't know what else to say. Why do people hate watch stuff? I don't know, but they do. Anyway, in my search to put out a variety of content, all right, a game like Bugsnax absolutely has a place. You can argue that it's a simple game. You can argue that the graphics aren't up to par with what other games that should be on PlayStation 5. And you can say it's a kiddie game. And you can say this and you can say that. You can say, oh man, this DLC, it's only 2 to 3 hours long. You know, it ain't even worth your time to go back and yada, yada, yada. But here's the thing, all right? What I really enjoy being as a content creator is a variety style content creator. Meaning, I'm a jack of all trades, but a master of none. I will play a wide variety of games, most of which I will never be great at, all right? But that's okay, because I get such a variety of stuff that I get to share with you guys every day that never gets old. I've been doing this now, ladies and gentlemen, for almost 14 years, okay? And in that time frame, I have played the biggest, hypest, most mainstream games possible, all right? In fact, that used to be what I made my name on, was that Phil was the guy who ran out and bought every hyped mainstream AAA game, and he got a playthrough out of that game so fast, faster than anyone else. You'd be able to watch the entirety of the game on DSP Gaming. That was my shtick. Okay? Well, now things have changed, all right? Now, I actually take the time to check out stuff that's not necessarily all mainstream. Any little game that kind of comes around that catches my interest, I'll give a try, all right? At least if it's within means. You know, with Bugsnax, it was on PlayStation Plus, which is awesome, because it then allowed me to play it without even having to spend any additional money after dropping all that money on the PlayStation 5, right? And so, me playing through a game like Bugsnax apparently bothers some people, because it's not what they're looking for in a game. And that's perfectly fine. But if I weren't a variety content creator, I would actually hate what I do. Being transparent with you guys here, one of the reasons why I don't get bored with being an online content creator is because I'm doing something different every day. Today we're doing Bugsnax, and later today, as I'm about to announce, we're doing old school Street Fighter. Okay? Tomorrow, we're doing Lego Star Wars, and then I Am Fish. Okay? Then, on Sunday, it's the most challenging part of Elden Ring, the fight everyone's been waiting for, the main event, the big fight feel. It's Darkside Phil versus Melania, or is it Millennia? I can't even remember what the fuck her name is. The big showdown against the hardest FromSoft boss ever, as a big highlighted stream on Sunday. And then we're doing Skyrim Sunday night. So in 3 days, okay, in 3 days, I'm doing 6 different games. 6 that are all different. You know, you can argue maybe there's some crossover between some of them, and, you know, that makes sense. But they're all completely different. And the thing is, I will not get bored at all. It's Melania. Melania was the first lady. You're right. Melania was the first lady. There you go. So, yeah, I'm doing so much different stuff in a 3-day period, right? Completely different. And that's great. That means that someone who wants to see a cutesy kind of puzzle game can come in and watch Bugsnax. If you want action, one-on-one combat, you know, high-end, old-school fighting game fun, you can watch the Street Fighter stream tonight, right? You want to see me die 5 zillion times, but hopefully learn and persevere over an insanely hard, you know, tough-as-nails boss, come on Sunday for Elden Ring. That's what I love about this. And it keeps me going. Because if I had to come to stream every day and I was like, well, more fighting games today, more fighting games today, more fighting games today, I would be completely bored and burnt out. Just being honest, that's how I am as a guy. Even when I was hardcore into competitive fighters back in the day, and when it was mostly what I did with games, okay, there were periods when I had to take time away from Street Fighter. Like, I would take like 2-3 weeks away just to do other shit. And then I would jump back in and start playing a hardcore again. I needed to do that, you know? You need it for peace of mind. And if you do the same thing over and over, not only do you experience boredom and burnout, but you end up actually getting worse at it, in my experience. If you do something too much, you end up overthinking, and you end up just like, it's weird, because sometimes I would step away from Street Fighter for like a few weeks and come back, and I would play better, because I stepped away from it for a while, you know? So anyway, there very well may be people today who have no interest in Bugsnax and are actually going to crap on this very stream. They're going to say, man, why is Phil wasting his time playing the Bugsnax DLC? He wasted his time playing the game in 2020, and he's wasting his time today with this DLC. And I can't really do much to change the mindset of those people besides saying, please at least give it a shot. I feel like if you give it a shot, okay, you may find something that you like. You may not. And that's fine if you don't, okay? That's perfectly fine. If you're not enjoying Bugsnax, you don't have to enjoy it. Go, you know, there's tons of other stuff that's going to be here on the channel. And I hope that you would at least give it a shot, and maybe it'll open your eyes to something you didn't realize, right? That's happened to me a lot. I'd say in the last 5 to 10 years. A lot of franchises that I never knew existed, all right? Or I knew existed, but were always on the fringe of what I would enjoy as gaming. And I knew they were there, but I never really gave them a shot. And then all of a sudden, you guys would convince me. You'd say, hey, try Yakuza. Hey, man, you got to try this series called Persona. You're really missing out. Or, excuse me. Or, in some cases, classics that I missed out on. The Spyro trilogy. I never even played a Spyro game until you guys convinced me to. You know what I'm saying? Super Mario Sunshine. That was the missing Mario game for me in the history of Mario. I'd never touched it because I didn't have a GameCube at the time when it was new. Okay, and so excellent, you know. And thank you and welcome to anyone who's here to see the variety stuff today and will chill with me and support it as well. I do have to bring that up. The real reason why I am able to do a variety of stuff in my content is because of you guys supporting it. You understand that? Because there are a lot of people out there who would like to do other things, who would like to diversify and like to do a variety of content, and they can't. They've been pigeonholed, or what's the word, like not stereotyped, but when you're what's the word for an actor who always gets the same kind of role and they can't get out of it? Oh, I can't remember. There's a particular word for that, okay? And basically, a lot of content creators are kind of in that rut. They make typecast. Thank you, Justin. That's exactly the words I was thinking of. Typecast. You become known as you're the guy who does this, you're the gal who does this, and you can't get any kind of job outside of that, right? And we were just talking about this the other day. Content creators who were known for putting out the same kind of content. The Angry Video Game Nerd, the Nostalgia Critic, Angry Joe, right? The content they make is outstanding, but after a while, you have to think they probably get bored of doing the same exact thing. Nostalgia Critic wanted to quit being the Nostalgia Critic and do all kinds of other content. And after a few months of doing it and seeing all of his views tank, he had to go back to being the Nostalgia Critic, even though he didn't want to. You know? I'm lucky because I get to do a variety of stuff like I want to do. All right? I get to enjoy games for what they are. You guys support that. And you have to understand how appreciative I am. Today I get to play Bugsnax. We're going to have a great time. There's going to be support on the stream. And I get to enjoy it and not have to worry about, because I'm doing Bugsnax and not a mainstream AAA game, today everything's bad, right? I'll give you some perspective on this, all right? Yesterday, I was playing Elden Ring. We got to Melania. For the last hour of the stream, I'm fighting Melania. My views go from 400 to 800. Double the views, all right? But I got no additional support at all. Basically, any support that I gotten on that stream froze before I even got to Melania, all right? So it's nice to get additional viewers. I appreciate that. Engagement is always great. People were liking the stream or whatever, and that's a good thing. But then, last night, we're playing Skyrim, all right? I've got less than 200 viewers on the stream, but we're having a really good time. We're interacting, we're having great conversation, we're having fun, we're doing these fun Daedric missions. I ended up getting 2 really good weapons, and we're having a conversation about, hey, what do you guys think we should do for the next DLC? Because we're going to do a DLC now in Skyrim. I've been playing Skyrim for 90 hours since I started to play through in December, and it's time now to do one of the 2 major DLCs. And I ran a poll, and it was nice, and it was interactive and fun, and we're all talking, okay? And all of a sudden, support starts coming in, tips and everything. I'm like, wow. And by the end of the day, I had more support on the Skyrim stream, an 11-year-old game, all right, a game I've already played before, a game with less than 200 viewers. I had more support on the Skyrim stream than I did Elden Ring, which had four times more viewers, okay? So the point I'm making here is, number one, don't listen to people who only want to see one kind of content and who only think that important AAA hyped content is the only content worth making. That's absolutely ridiculous, all right? Especially for me being a variety content creator, I understand that I have totally different audiences that come for different reasons. And yes, there absolutely is crossover between them. And there actually is certain situations where what everyone wants is basically correct. You know, everyone's going to want to see a hype thing every once in a while. But because I am a variety content creator, when I do these more chill streams, more laid-back games, not as popular games, and I take the time to play them, that gives those games exposure, and it gives an opportunity in a lot of cases, like a game like Skyrim or Bugsnax, to have interaction with my viewers that other content creators wouldn't be able to do. You know what I'm saying? For example, today, I would guesstimate, and I could be wrong, I'm going to estimate we're going to have between 200 and 300 viewers for Bugsnax. That's my guess. Okay? But because we have between 200 and 300 viewers, I'm able to have conversation with you guys. All right? When I'm on an Elden Ring stream with 800 people and they're all spamming the chat, it's ridiculous. And it was, too. It was ridiculous yesterday. I'm fighting Melania, and it's like, stupid thing about, insulting me. Oh, I suck at the game. Oh, if only I did this, if I learned and this and that. It's all toxic shit. You know, the more you get, the less personable a stream becomes. It's absolutely true. Really? Wily Coyote says Angry Joe completely stopped streaming his Elden Ring playthrough, not even halfway done with the game. He just couldn't take the hate about it anymore. Wow. People hating on him for how he was playing. So he just basically quit the game and played it offline. Wow. It's just absolutely ridiculous, you know. I enjoy both sides. If you want to come for a big hype AAA playthrough, great. That puts a smile on my face to get a lot of attention and engagement and know that people like my content so much they want to be here for a big gaming moment, okay? At the very same time, I feel it's just as meaningful to have a smaller audience and have a more personable stream where we interact, we have a good conversation while we're enjoying a game together. I think that both sides are great. So, thank you to people who attend and support any of my content. It could be the big hype stuff, the little indie stuff, the in-between. Bugsnax, I would argue, more on the indie side, because not a lot of people really have talked about it since it was a PS5 launch title. It's not like it got tons of recognition or anything. Like I said, I don't think we'll have a lot of viewers today. I don't think this is going to be some crazy popular stream. At the same time, for those of us who are here to enjoy it, I think it's going to be chill fun. And thank you to those who are going to be here to chill and support the stream. All right? You guys are awesome. Thank you for supporting the smaller time streams, the smaller or lesser known games, because that allows me to continue to do what I love and have a passion for, being a content creator who does a variety of stuff. Really, it's those people who come and support these smaller time games and playthroughs that really allow me to succeed. And yeah, because the thing is, every once in a while I play a giant game. Like Elden Ring, the first month I played it, and I know how ridiculous that sounds. The first month he played it. Yeah, I've been playing it for over 2 months. The game is so fucking long. I'm like almost 120 hours in. By the way, Super Batcat, welcome back to the streams. He said, I hope things are going well with you in chat. I haven't been in chat because I had a bout of COVID. I'm glad I was vaccinated because it would have been a lot worse. I'm happy to hear you've recovered, and thank God you were vaccinated because, yeah, the horror stories, still persist. These people who avoided being vaccinated and now they're getting sick this late into it and like, oh, God. So anyway, welcome back, and I hope you're feeling better. But anyway, when I play a giant game, right, and there's hype around it, and I get tons of viewers, and there's a lot of support, that's great. Elden Ring, the entire first month that I played Elden Ring, no exaggeration, every single stream that I played of Elden Ring had way high views compared to what I usually pull in on a stream. And the support, I was actually hitting most of, if not all, of the tip skulls for that whole month that Elden Ring came out. Seriously. And it was crazy. It was great. It helped a lot. But I knew it wasn't going to last. You know what I mean? Like, how long can you maintain that? And with a game like Elden Ring, you know, you bring in a kind of a toxic element. The people who are the good players, the people who want to see you fail. And there's nothing you can really do about that. That's the nature of the beast with FromSoft games. I know that from streaming them for many, many years now. But you can't maintain that. You know what I'm saying? You can't maintain, unless you're someone with 1 million viewers. You know what I mean? Oh, every stream I turn on, I have between 5,000 and 10,000 viewers. And there's so many people on my stream that there's a constant flow of support that never ends, to the point where you can't even interact with your stream chat. You can't shout out all the contributions because so many are coming in, that you just play the game and you're basically just known for being popular without ever actually doing anything to really maintain or deserve it. And I see that all the time. All right? You can't maintain that level unless you're that big. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's never going to be a big game feel, a big fight feel for every single stream that you put out when you're putting out 12 streams a week like I do. You know, there's going to be these downtime streams. There's going to be the chill streams. And I love those. I get just as much meaning out of a chill stream with you guys where we have fun conversation and it feels like a cool hangout session as I do playing a giant AAA game and overcoming a really hard boss, or, you know, getting through a really tough dungeon and getting all that hype behind it. So, thank you so much to those who support the slower streams. Really. Again, I mean it. Like, you guys are the reason why I can do the variety style content. And quite frankly, that's why I'm playing Bugsnax today. Because I know that I can do it and not have to sit here and worry about it. You know? That's awesome. All right? So, now let's actually get to the schedule. Now that we had that big lengthy segment. All right? Bugsnax. The Isle of Big Snacks DLC. Right now. First gameplay segment on stream. I hope it's good. And I hope that I don't suck so hard that it's not entertaining. But I feel like it will be. I feel it'll take a few minutes maybe to get back into the swing of things, remember all the different gadgets and gizmos and things I can use to catch the Bugsnax. But I feel like it'll be good. I feel like, you know, we'll get into it and it'll be entertaining to return back to this game after such a long hiatus and everything. It should be a good time. Okay? All right. So that's the first stream. Now, if I don't beat it, we can easily do a night stream sometime in the near future to finish it up. All right? So no pressure to rush through it and try to finish it today. But the reports are saying it's 2 to 3 hours long, so maybe we will beat it today. Okay? Curse Hex Fusion says, but do you like the games? Are you playing it because others support it? I think you've missed the point. The point I'm saying is, these lesser-known games, these more chill games, are the ones I actually really enjoy, and I'm happy I get to play them. Another content creator maybe doesn't get to. They're stuck only playing the big stuff. They're stuck only playing one type of game that they're known for. Well, I get to do these kind of special streams and have a good time with it. The answer is yes, I really enjoy streams like today. Okay. Super Bad Cat hasn't been around in a while and says, is this a Blanca figure in the background? Well, if you could call it Blanca. Super World Championship Super Fighter. Made in Taiwan. I want to give you a taste of my Blanca balls. It's a bootleg figure. A bootleg figure, completely stolen, not licensed. They don't have permission to use the character, but a fan sent that to me, and I said, I'll put that in my setup. It's pretty funny. All right. So anyway, today's mainstream is Bugsnax, and it's DLC expansion. Should be a good time. Later tonight, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. It is Friday Night Fights. And ladies and gentlemen, it's the final countdown. That was the wrong one. I actually wanted to press this. That's what I wanted to press. I picked way too much fanfare. It's the final countdown for the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. Way back in 2018, this collection was released. And at the time, I really enjoyed it. But over time, the collection has kind of degraded to the point where it's very annoying to play now, because it's very hard to get a consistent room where people will keep playing. The ranked matches don't even work on PlayStation, and on Xbox, it's not consistent to get them. As much as I really enjoyed playing old school Street Fighter with you guys every week, for many, many years, it's time for something new. And I'm very excited for the new stuff coming out in June. The new collection, Capcom Fighting Collection. So, tonight, old school Street Fighter yet again. It should be a good time. It's always 2 hours of throwback fun where I basically kind of educate you guys a little bit. If you have questions or want to see how to play a certain character, you guys request characters and I play them for you. It's a really good time, and I can't wait for tonight, all right? So hopefully you'll join me for old school Street Fighter tonight. The last few times we'll be playing the 30th Anniversary Collection until the new collection comes out in June, and that'll replace it, okay? Then tomorrow, Saturday, we head into the final movie trilogy of Lego Star Wars, all right? It's the modern trilogy. We've already started The Force Awakens, but only gotten like 2 story missions in. So we're going to continue on with that movie and likely wrap it up. We'll probably beat that whole movie on the stream on Saturday to move into the final 2 movies in the finale of the game. Then on Saturday night, it is the end game of I Am Fish, a game that I've been playing now over the past week and a half on Game Pass. It's really fun. It's really interesting. And these final stages are very challenging. In particular, the flying fish stuff is like really challenging. Okay? So I'm looking forward to it. We had a final piranha fish stage and a final flying fish stage. And then supposedly, if you've earned 40 stars over the course of the game, you unlock the secret stage and real true ending of the game. But it seems like that could be quite time consuming and maybe a little bit too challenging for my style of content. I don't know. At this point, I have like 20 some stars, but I'm not even close to 40. I don't even know how I would do it. Go back and try to replay the earlier stages maybe and snag some easy ones. I'm not sure. So, should be a good time Saturday night. And then, of course, like I said, on Sunday, it's the big fight feel. Me versus Melania. One-on-one. Mano-a-mano. It's Millennia. I keep saying Melania. It's Millennia. I get the letters, the vowels are confused in my head. It's me versus Millennia. All right? Probably the whole stream. Being how hard this boss is, I almost guarantee you that this is going to be very challenging and ridiculous and take like the whole stream for me to beat this boss. But I'm going to do it, man. I want to beat it legit. I really don't want to summon or anything. I want to learn the pattern, and it's going to be rewarding when I finally defeat the boss, okay? So, that should be exciting on Sunday. I hope you'll join me. Sunday night, more Skyrim After Hours. We just started the Dragonborn DLC. We just arrived in the new area. You know what was funny about this? I said this last night. I said, I don't think I did this. I don't remember doing this DLC at all. Okay? I just don't remember it. And then I went offline, and I went on my channel, and I searched. So come to find out, I did play the Dragonborn DLC in Skyrim. But it was very eye-opening to me. And here's why. As I just said a few minutes ago, I was known as the guy who would play every big high-profile release, every big new release, and I would basically kind of be the first person to get that full playthrough of it up on the internet. Okay? Now, that was kind of a double-edged sword for me. Alright? And here's why. Even though I was known as the guy who'd be Mr. New Release, Mr. Get that content, get that playthrough up on the internet right away, and that was kind of my bread and butter for a while. People loved watching me because they knew you could depend on Phil to get that up right away, right? When I would do that, I would basically rush through games, okay? Especially a game like this one, this DLC for Skyrim. This DLC, Dragonborn, if you really take your time with it and you explore and you look all around and everything, it's basically about 20 hours long, okay? It's very lengthy. There's tons of content in it, all right? But if you rush through it, and you just focus on just the story plot line and you really don't do anything outside of the main storyline, you can actually beat it in about 4 hours, okay? Now, I don't do any research on this stuff, so how would I know that? Because I looked up my original playthrough of it from 2013, February 2013. When I start playing it, I explain to my viewing audience that this is something that I'm kind of wedging in between other stuff, that there's other high-profile games coming out. If you guys remember the year of 2013, that was one of the wildest gaming years. There was so many big profile new releases that had come out in 2013 that at that time I was juggling a lot at once, especially early in the year. I remember there was a lot of stuff, and I guess what had happened was people did convince me to do the DLC, even though I was reluctant to do it, because I was like, man, I'm going to basically have to kind of squeeze it in, wedge it in between everything else. And the first thing I even say, like in the playthrough, is, man, I'm happy that I'm doing this, but I basically am just trying to fit it in with everything else, and I rushed through it so badly. So to give you guys a little bit of perspective, back then, 9 years ago, I still used to upload 10-minute clips to YouTube. Sometimes 15, but it was mostly 10-minute gameplay clips. Okay? My playthrough of the Skyrim Dragonborn DLC is 24 parts. Okay? 24 parts long. Do the math. 24 times 10 is 240 minutes. Divide by 60 minutes. It's a 4-hour playthrough. So I boot it up. I run into the DLC. I start talking to the NPCs that are tagged. I start doing questing. I see the new enemy types. I rush through it. I literally rush through it. Like, there's no time taken to explore. I'm not walking around immersing myself in this new environment. I'm not checking out the new items in stores. I'm not doing any of that. It's just waypoint, 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 waypoint. And then I'm done. And at the end of it, in the last part, I basically thank my audience, and I'm like, thank you guys for being patient and for requesting this. Sorry that I kind of had to play it this way, but it is what it is. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, dude, you want to talk about night and day, all right? Today, when I play a game, I take my time with it. I explore. I immerse myself in the content. We have interaction when I'm playing it. So now I get your take and your input and everything as a part of that playthrough. You recommend fun things to do in a game like Skyrim. In fact, you guys have been recommending quests and stuff that we finally did last night. I ended up getting 2 insanely high-powered weapons, right? And it's honestly way, way, way better today. I'm watching this, I didn't watch the whole thing. I skimmed through it. But watching this 4-hour playthrough of the Dragonborn DLC, it's not good. It's actually quite bad. It's me basically rushing, complaining a lot, because back then I complained about literally everything, anytime that I had any kind of a hardship in a game at all, and something didn't just easily, immediately happen or come to me, I would whine and complain. Okay? So, yeah, it was bad. It's actually, in my opinion, I'm watching it, I'm like, this isn't really even a playthrough. This is basically a rush through, okay? And now, 9 years later, I look at it from a completely different perspective as a different person and a different kind of content creator, and I shake my head. I'm like, man, no wonder I don't remember it. No wonder I can't remember this DLC, because I really didn't play it. I turboed through it. I skipped 16 hours of content of it, all right? And that's so weird to me. It is. It's so weird to me, because this was right before I went direct capture and live streaming as well. This was February 2013. And I almost feel like if I had live streamed that people would have given me shit for it and said, no, Phil, don't play it like this. You're basically skipping most of the meaningful stuff. And basically I would have played it in a different way, right? It really wasn't until I had that interactive element with you guys giving me live feedback during content that I was making that I realized the mistakes that I was making. That's been a critical and important part of my content, is you guys now interacting with me, okay? By the way, I don't know what's going on. The chat is extremely delayed today. Look at this. My chat froze and just unfroze, and a ridiculous amount of messages just appeared. And it looks like my statistics over here have frozen on my page. I think YouTube is having issues today. Damn. YouTube is really having issues today. Can I even load my studio right now? Whoa, it's taking forever to load. Wow, YouTube is having tons of issues today. I didn't even realize this until right now. I can't even load my studio page. Wow. Wow. Data is currently unavailable. Come back and try later. YouTube is completely crabbing out right now, guys. It's not you. It's YouTube. Yeah, this is ridiculous. And the thing is, it's definitely not on my end. I'm showing my connection is pristine. You know, absolutely pristine, zero issues. It's YouTube. I just tried to load my channel page. And like I said, or my YouTube studio page, which shows all my videos and their performance. Everything's error, come back later, it won't load. Damn. Well, it is what it is. You know, can't really do much about that. That makes a lot of sense because I was like, gee, why is the stream chat not moving? I'm saying all this stuff and no one's responding. And then all of a sudden the stream chat went 100 messages showed up. Like, whoa, shit. Low latency mode has nothing to do with it. Stop asking me to turn it off. You don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I'm being told people's streams are stopping and loading and then they have to start it again. Yeah, it's YouTube, guys. It's definitely YouTube today doing this. It's not you. It's not my internet. It's YouTube. YouTube is apparently having some issues. Yeah, that sucks. I'll actually type something in stream chat about it. Hey, guys. FYI, YouTube is having issues right now. I'm still streaming fine on my end, but you may see loading and buffering. Just refresh and hopefully it fixes itself. There you go. There's not much I can do. It's funny because I'm looking, I'm like, viewers are going down actually, right? Usually with the pre-stream it builds up. It's going down because the YouTube just crapped out and started having issues. So people are like leaving and coming back. Ugh. Jeez, what a mess. I wonder what the hell happened. Oops. One of those Ivy League trained employees tripped on a power cord. Completely unplugged the Ethernet, and that was the end of that. Right? Oh, my goodness. Thank you, Ectoplasm, for that super chat. I'll shut it out in just a moment here. Anyway, guys, sorry if there's technical issues on the stream today. That's definitely YouTube side of things. I don't know what's going on there. Anyway. Where was I? We were talking about Skyrim and how my mentality of playing games back in the day was much worse than it is today, right? At the very tail end of me doing playthroughs with a camera, meaning this is when I used to aim a camera at a television and record footage rather than do direct capture. The very tail end of that, I was getting tons of criticism and flack on the internet for basically being a dinosaur. I wasn't adapting to the times. I wasn't doing direct capture nor live streaming. My content was rushed through and wasn't professional, okay? Now, what you got to understand, you got to get my frame of mind, and we're actually going to talk a lot about this during my upcoming DSP Reacts to Down the Rabbit Hole Dark Side Phil video. But anyway, my perspective back in the day, all right, was basically that I didn't understand nor really get why people thought what I did on YouTube was so good or interesting or, quite frankly, popular. I thought that YouTube was just kind of a joke to throw stuff on, and I didn't really, if you notice, I mean, take a look at the stuff I did back then. There was no high production value. Again, rushing through games and playthroughs just to pump out the next one. At that point, I was kind of thinking in my mind, I didn't know how long things were going to last. I didn't know if this was going to be something with longevity, or maybe it was just a flash in the pan thing, and then it was going to all go away. There was a lot of threats back then. Remember things like S.978 and shit like that were threatening to shut down gameplay on YouTube. So you really didn't know what way things were going to go, right? And so a lot of the stuff that I put out was just throw it on the internet, rush through it, don't care. That was my attitude, kind of like, I just don't care, all right? It wasn't until much later when I really became a full-time streamer and I started talking with you guys on every stream that I realized, you know, how meaningful my content was to a lot of people, that a lot of people were seeing things in my videos and streams that I didn't even see, and that I was a very influential person on the internet, despite the fact that my popularity had waned dramatically by that point. The fact that people looked up to me, the fact that people were looking to my opinions for some kind of air of importance or professionalism, and that even though I thought that I was just some guy dicking around with games on the internet, right, that I should basically put more attention and care into what I was doing. And that's the difference between what I'm doing now versus what I did back then, is I'm not just some guy who pokes a camera and just plays through a game like an asshole and rushes through and here's my content, slaps it on the internet anymore. Now I'm actually caring, I'm actually trying, and I like what we do together every day. So, man, that was kind of eye-opening yesterday. When I was looking at my playthrough of the Dragonborn DLC and I'm like, 4 hours? 4 hours. I skipped everything. I purposely went out of my way to ignore all the shit around me just to beat it in one sitting, basically. Okay. Just gonna get rid of this guy who's just trolling at this point. Okay. So there you go. Dragonborn DLC, Sunday night, beginning up. That should be exciting. Okay. Now, what else is coming on my streams? All right. I'll tell you. First of all, we're gonna continue on and finish Elden Ring and Lego Star Wars within the next week to week and a half. There's no way they're gonna last longer than that. Once I beat Elden Ring, I am doing an official, formal, full review of the game, covering all the major aspects of it. And yes, not only am I going to cover the things that are great, but I'm going to talk all about the things that are big room for improvement in this game, which most reviewers have glossed over or ignored, saying that it's the best game ever. It's not. Okay? It's not. Objectively, you can't say that a game that's full of flaws and or room for improvement is 10 out of 10. You are a bad reviewer if you do that. I'm sorry. You just are. That's complete dishonesty, and you let yourself get taken over by emotion rather than actually being subjective and realizing that the review you're putting out there will be judged or used as a judgment if people are going to try this game. I'm going to do my best, my absolute best, to review this game fairly for the masses. Okay? Most people won't care because most people will either have played it already or just ignored it over 2 months after the release of the game. What are you going to do? But I'm going to do it. All right? I'm going to do it anyway. People have asked me to do it, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to review this game fully. Okay? So that's coming. All right? In addition, there'll be other Game Pass stuff that I'm going to be doing coming up. On Monday night, I'm going to do something Game Pass. Now, will it be going back and doing something like Serious Sam 4 or One Piece Pirate Warriors 4? Will it be doing something new, like maybe Bassmaster or The Procession of Calvary or maybe even Mirror's Edge? A second run after my original run back in like 2009, right? Excuse me. I'll think about it. But we're going to play something fun and interesting on Game Pass moving forward as well, all right? Now, I've come to an official decision for the date that I will be doing Dark Side Phil Reacts or DSP Reacts to Down the Rabbit Hole Dark Side Phil. All right? So get ready to mark your calendars, all right? It will be July 17th. No, it's not July. Why would I wait till July? It's in May. May 14th, which I believe is the second Saturday of the month. Let's take a look. I believe it's the second Saturday. Yes. So it wouldn't be the first Saturday of May. It's the second Saturday of May. All right. So this weekend, the big hype thing I'm doing is the showdown with Millennia and Elden Ring. All right. Next weekend, likely the big hype thing that I'm doing is reviewing Elden Ring. Okay. And then the week after that, on that weekend, May 14th, Saturday, DSP reacts to Down the Rabbit Hole Dark Side Phil. Okay? So, it's like every weekend there's something extra interesting and hype happening on my streams now. Okay? It's pretty cool. So, yes, mark your calendars, get ready. That will only be one stream, by the way. But someone had proposed something really interesting to me yesterday. They said, since technically you doing this Down the Rabbit Hole video is a reward for hitting your members goal, and typically when you hit your members goal, you do like a celebratory event. Why not turn it into a celebration? Why not turn it into a 1-year celebration of being a full-time content creator on YouTube again? Because if you remember, it was mid-May 2021 where I left Twitch for good and I came over here and I started really focusing on building this channel back up from where it had fallen, essentially. So that could be a pretty cool thing to celebrate, I feel. Let's celebrate 1 year on YouTube with a all-day-long marathon event, including DSP Reacts to Down the Rabbit Hole. But we can also do a live episode of Feasting with the King, And we can also do some gameplay after the fact, because that's what I feel I want to do. I think we should start with the Down the Rabbit Hole video, do the reaction to that, right? Then do a Feasting with the King, and then have some gameplay afterwards. Like a really fun all-day event, okay, on May 14th. So how does that sound to you guys? Do you like that idea? Or do you think that idea is terrible and it sucks and everything I do is awful? All right, that was an over-exaggeration. Maybe you just don't like the idea, but you don't hate me. All right? But anyway, I'd like to hear your opinion on this. Please share your opinions with me on what you think about doing kind of a fun day event on May 14th, okay? I think it would be pretty fun and exciting, all right? So that's coming up. Also, keep in mind, in the month of May, there's new releases. There's Trek to Yomi that first week of May. There's the Evil Dead game around the second week of May. There's a lot of new stuff at the end of May. And coming up, all right, there's going to be WWE 2K22, which you guys have been asking for ever since it came out like 2 months ago. We'll finally be doing a playthrough of that as well, okay? So all this fun stuff is coming up. I hope it sounds good to you. Also, in the month of May, I know I keep mentioning May because May's right around the corner, just a couple days away. There will be a new members goal set up. And when this members goal is set up, if we hit that members goal during the month of May, you guys are going to be voting on the next DSP Reacts project, and you're going to have multiple choices to choose from. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through... excuse me. That is absolutely disgusting. Stupid allergies. I'm going to go through all of the content available to me for React content. Meaning, anything available from the Frederick Knudsen channel on YouTube, as well as other possibilities, okay? And I'm going to come together with a list of stuff that I would be interested in reacting to. And then if we hit the members goal for May, you guys are going to vote on which of those potential projects I'm going to be doing next for React style content. And likely that would be in June. Either late May or June, early June would be when we do that. Okay? So there you go. Hopefully people will be excited. Hopefully people will be excited for this event. What's funny about it is, really people weren't that excited for when I announced DSP Reacts to Down the Rabbit Hole Dark Side Phil. At first, we got maybe 20 new people who became members, and then it just kind of froze, and that was the end of it. And I thought, man, maybe people just don't want to see it. But then when I did the react video to the Wings of Redemption story, not only did that get tons of attention, but I think then people realized, wow, this is good content, that it's meaningful, and, you know, Phil reacting is actually quite interesting. So then they wanted to see me react to my own video, and immediately we got a big boost in members to make it happen, right? Maybe what will happen is in May, we will kind of stagnate with members again, and then I'll do the special event where I react to my own video, and then maybe they'll be interested again. Oh, wow, that was really good, so now let's see Phil react to future content, and maybe there'll be a big rallying again. I don't know. I don't know. Ray Perez says I'm full of shit. Now, Ray, how exactly can you explain the fact that the members' goal for April was live since April 1st? I announced it on April 1st. As of the time when I did the Wings of Redemption video last week, we were only at like 360 members. We were like 40 away. No one was becoming a new member to make that goal happen. And then all of a sudden, when I made the Wings reaction, boom, members out the butt. Within 2 days, we hit the goal. It was that Monday, last Monday, that we hit the goal. So I think you're off base here. You may say I'm full of shit, and everyone wanted to see it. The feedback I was getting was, oh, the video's too old. The video's 5 years old, and it's only up to 2017, and that's why no one wants to see it. Yeah, it's too bad that it was the only really factual video made about me, you know? You look at all the other shit, it's all slander. It's all fucking supposition, guessing, conspiracy, and nothing with any fucking substantiation besides bullshit posted all over the internet that's not true, and I'm not going to address any of that stuff. Best Even says, please play the Stanley Parable after DSP Reacts. We can make the Stanley Parable a maybe for May, okay? I'm not sold on playing it again. When I played it the first time, I really, really enjoyed it. But it was a quirky game, I remember. It's the kind of game that once you played it once, you kind of know all the weird twists and things that are going to happen in the game moving forward. So if I played it again, maybe there's a few things that they changed, but for the most part, it's the same game, right? It's a narrative-based game. It really is. It has a lot of new content. See, I didn't even know that. It has a lot of new content added, says Best Evens. All right, we'll leave it as a possibility for May. Something to do. Because we got a lot of stuff coming up in May. Like I said, we're going to have a one-off stream where I am going to eventually beat the Forgotten City and do the final ending. People have been waiting for that for months and months. I want to do that. And then we're going to do WWE 2K22. There are other new games that I want to do. So all that's coming. All right? Mike, literally, as I said that, he says, you promised us Forgotten City. Why isn't it in the polls? Because the polls are for night streams. And the Forgotten City is going to take 3 or more hours to beat. It takes at least 2 hours just to do the gameplay element of it. And then there's a lot of dialogue. So why am I going to do that on a stream I know I can't finish it on? Like I said, we're going to do it as a daytime stream. SQSQ says, React videos usually are just stupid, people making faces at stuff, but the amount of input you actually gave during your reaction made it a proper reaction, and it was fun to watch. I try because as I told you guys, the last thing I wanted to do is become what I hate. And I hate that shit. I hate fucking easy mode content. Oh, I'm going to watch a fucking game announcement trailer, and I'm just going to react with my face to it. It's like, dude, get the fuck out of here. Like, do some work today. Like, fucking seriously. And why people actually watch and support that shit, I don't know. Like, anyone can watch a trailer and literally just make faces at it. Why are you paying them to do it? I don't understand. That's just ridiculous. Anyway. It's not Best Stevens, it's B. Stevens. Okay, B. Stevens. I'll try to remember that. Could have went either way. There was no capital letters in the name. Homemade meatballs sound good, Christian. I love homemade meatballs. I used to make my own. Okay, so anyway. That's what's coming up, guys. I know we've basically beat it around the bush here and talked long form. Thanks for listening. Let's do some quick shout-outs. Oh, there's one news story today. Just a big heads up for everyone. So as you guys know, Sony is going to institute their new PlayStation Plus tiers soon. These are the tiers where it's either just online play, but now it implements PS Now into it as well, all in one package. And they're going to add a bunch of retro games and things to it that you can now play. So admittedly, people are trying to find ways on the internet around it. Why wouldn't they? They're trying to find ways to save a buck when this new system comes into place. So some people found a way where you could essentially, like, you could still subscribe to the old version of PlayStation Plus, and they found this way to do it for, like, really cheap. And so they said, well, if you're the old PS Plus subscriber or a PS Now subscriber, or if you get both, you can stack subscriptions, so you could end up getting, like, 5 years of both for, like, $25 or something insanely stupid like that. Like, how do they even find that shit? I don't know. People tell me all the time, oh, so 4 years ago, I found out that Game Pass was coming out. And so I did this special deal where I stacked every month for $1, and I paid $25, and I have Game Pass Ultimate now until like 2072, and I don't have to pay for it. I'm like, how did you? What? How does that even exist? Like, how? I don't. You know, I don't get that. How you find those deals? How do you make that shit work? But anyway, people were trying to do this with the new Sony PS Now, PS Live, PS Plus, whatever the fuck you want to call it. They're trying to do that with this new thing. Sony caught wind of it and basically put the kibosh on it, and now people are really upset. So a lot of people went out there, they bought like 10 years of PlayStation Plus and like a 5-year thing for PS Now, and they're like, well, I hope it's going to stack, right? We're just going to stack that together, and I'm going to get the new service. And Sony's like, haha, nope. What they're going to do what's called prorating. So let's say you paid $20 for like a 5-year version of PlayStation Now, right? For somehow, I don't know how you get that deal, but some people apparently find these crazy deals. What they're going to do, they're going to prorate it to be the equivalent of what it should be with the new service. So let's say the new service costs, I don't know, $30 a month at the tier you want. Well, you paid $20, So that means you will get like 1 month of service. That's it. Like people are, huh? Yeah, and that's what Sony is saying. I think they said at most, what you'll get is like if you bought a month, you'll get 3 weeks or something like that. So you're not, even if you paid equivalent, you're still not going to get equivalent. You're going to get less because they're saying, oh, it's a new service, it's different, it's not valued as much or whatever. You know, so it's really weird that they're doing this because they used to, everyone always finds these deals online, and that never has a game company before done this. And some people are actually like really up in arms about it. They're like, dude, no, I went out of my way, I found all these deals, I bought it all, now you're telling me it's not going to be worth anything what I bought. You know, I don't know. But that's what everyone's up in arms because I guess they did a big public posting about it, and they were like, hey guys, stop doing this. You know, the whole purpose of this new service is to provide value to you, but not like for free. You're like trying to rip us off, and we don't like that. So we're basically gonna take all what you already bought, you know, trying to like hog all the existing cards and shit that are out there on the internet, and we're gonna basically convert them, but they're not gonna be worth as much, so you're kind of wasting your time. So, just so you guys know. Okay, we're gonna do shout outs now. No, okay, I want to make sure I didn't really miss anything. I did. Okay, let's do some shout outs. Right now we only have YouTube side shout outs. There hasn't been any tips yet. So all I have to shout out is YouTube contributions. So let's do that. So we start off today with Vineet DM, who did a super chat earlier, the first super chat of the day. Thank you, Vineet. And then Ectoplasm had did that super chat and said TGIF to you as well, Ectoplasm. That's right. For some, as I said just at the beginning of this podcast, I said for some people it's Friday, it's the beginning of the work week, or the end of the work week, beginning of the weekend. Excuse me. And for some people it's not. You know, some people don't get the weekends off. I didn't used to. I used to always have to work weekends when I was younger. But, welcome. And thank you for the super chat. And then Soren S. also did a super chat. And says, if Elden Ring is not the best game ever, which one is then? That is a an objective. No. Okay, I'm confusing myself. That is a subjective question. Because it's different strokes for different folks, right? It is. And you can argue that one genre is better than another, or you enjoy one genre more than another. You know, if your favorite genre of games is fighting games, you might argue that your favorite fighting game is the best game of all time. While someone who likes platformers may think that a Mario game is the best game of all time, right? And it's really like apples to oranges. How do you say is Street Fighter 2 better or worse than Super Mario World? They're not even close to being the same type of game. You know what I'm saying? What I have issue with these reviewers, okay, is not someone saying, okay, Elden Ring is my game of the year. I don't care about that. That's fine. All right? Say that. If it's your favorite From Software game, it's your game of the year, that's good for you. Go ahead and you can say that. All right? But number one, you got to understand the year's not over. We're only heading into May. There's going to be many more games coming out this year, and there may be competition. So kind of saying, oh, game of the year this early, it's kind of irresponsible, all right? If you say game of the year so far, that's different, but a lot of people are just saying game of the year as like a definitive statement. There's no chance any other game this year can beat it, and I'm not believing that. I think that there could be better games this year, okay? In fact, I would say, I hope there's better games this year. I want more better games. I don't want to say the best games come out and everything else is a downhill trend. That's kind of silly and ridiculous, okay? That's number one. But the other thing I have major issue with is people who review the game and say, okay, so this was really kind of messed up in the game and broken. This definitely could have been improved, and it was really frustrating, but it's a 10 out of 10, okay? I'm sorry you can't do that. And I know that people have different methodologies when it comes to reviews, and they have different review systems. But the truth of the matter, and the bottom line, and I say these mannerisms all the time to try to emphasize, I don't know how much I can emphasize the next following statement, all right? If you are someone with a following on the internet, you have a responsibility to be transparent and truthful with your audience. You have to understand that what you say has weight, and that people will directly make judgments based off of what you say in a review. If you review Elden Ring and you say the game has all these issues that could be improved and you give it a 10 out of 10, you have done a dramatic disservice to your viewing audience, and you have been completely disrespectful and dishonest and basically irresponsible with them. Because when you say 10 out of 10, you're saying it's perfect. It's 100%. 10 divided by 10 is 1. The best example, a whole number, 1. It's flawless, infallible, best in class, best you could ever do. Is Elden Ring the best you can ever do for this style of game, or is there room for improvement? If there's room for improvement, it can't be perfect. You can't say it is. You just can't. If you do, you have been irresponsible with your audience and you have misled them. And I know people will give me shit because someone just told me the other day, Angry Joe said it's a 10 out of 10. And I respect the hell out of Angry Joe. He fucked up. You can't say a game is perfect and then call out flaws. You're being irresponsible. And I hate to say it, you could say that the responsibility should be on the viewer. It's the viewer's responsibility to watch the whole review and then judge for themselves. The viewer shouldn't just listen to the number score and then say, that's the score, and trust it. You're right, but sadly, that's not the reality we live in. We don't live in a world where everyone's fucking smart. We just don't. We live in a world where people are like, oh, here's a number, that's the game, period. There's people who will just say, okay, what did Angry Joe rate it? Oh, a 10? Perfect score. Okay, best game ever. They won't even watch the review. They'll just listen to the number. You also got to remember about aggregate scores. There's aggregate scores on the internet that rate things off of the number you give it. So again, if you're overinflating and saying 10 out of 10, but it has flaws, you have actually skewed the aggregate score, and that does a disservice to everyone out there. So many people get overcome with emotion when they review things, whether it's a television show, a movie, a game. Some people get overcome with positive emotion and say it's perfect when it's not. Other people get completely overwhelmed with negative emotion when they feel that something's not up to snuff with how they feel it should be, and then they slam it, right? And either way can give you a lot of extra attention on the internet, and it can make you a lot of extra money if you're a content creator. Those extremes, I know I've been there. When I made that video, the worst game I've ever played, Homefront: The Revolution, it broke 1 million views. It made me thousands of dollars, no exaggeration. That one video that I spent a few nights piecing together, editing and putting out on the internet, made me a lot of money because it was so overly negative. All right, so I know all about it. I've been there, okay? But I feel that you have to be responsible when you are a content creator and you have a following. You know, you just have to be. This is your job. This is you putting yourself out there and saying, this is truly what I feel about a game. You can't trust that every person's going to watch your full review, even though they absolutely should. Your number score has to be truly representative of what you say in the review. And too many reviewers don't do that. They just get so overly, completely overwhelmed in emotion. Oh, 10 out of 10, best game ever. Get the fuck out of here. You're so full of it. And then people believe you. And that's the worst part. Okay. All right. All right, guys. Anything else? Or should we end the pre-stream? I'm being asked, is it okay to rate something 10 out of 10 if you completely enjoy the game despite its flaws? Yes. Well, here's the thing. Again, I feel like here's the thing is that there's no set rating scale. And that's really what's killing it right now with these reviews. Is that IGN reviews something an 8 out of 10. Angry Joe reviews something an 8 out of 10. And some content creator, much lesser known, you never heard of, reviews something 8 out of 10. And all three reviews could be completely valid, completely justified in what they're saying, but all completely different. Even though everyone gave it an 8 out of 10, it could all mean something different. That's why the number scale is fucking bullshit. It really is. The number scale is bullshit because you don't even know if people are using the same criteria to grade the game. How many of these reviewers even have criteria? Do you think that there's people who have a formula they use? Oh, if it has great gameplay, that scores a point. If it has great graphics, that scores a point. Or if it has this or that. Some of them might do that. Some of them might literally just pull a number out of their asshole. Like I said, a lot of these guys, they're based on emotion. So they just make a number up because that's what they feel. You know what I'm saying? The whole number system in itself is bullshit. And I really wish that we could find another way to grade games and or anything, because a number, a lot of times, as I just explained, is a misrepresentation of the true experience of the game. So, yeah, Ryu in Suiko says, have you ever seen a reviewer who says 10 out of 10 means a perfect game? Seems like it's never used as a substitute for perfection. And that's the thing, then it shouldn't be used. You can't take something that is cut and dry, 100% fact, and then skew it as not being fact. Okay? You can't. There are some undeniable facts in life. Math, okay, is one of those things that we all collectively agree math is the same. If we didn't, how the fuck would we ever calculate anything? Everything would be completely back to square one. As humans, we wouldn't understand anything in nature or anything. Math has to be the common denominator of everything that we do, so we have common ground when it comes to anything scientific, right? Math is it. That's the fucking end-all be-all of everything, right? So when you say 10 out of 10, 10 would be absolute fullest quality possible, and you're giving it a 10. You're saying it's perfect. You're saying 100%. You're saying perfect one. You can't say, oh, well, it doesn't mean that. Yes, it does. That's math, dude. That's fucking math. You can't change math because of your emotions, because that's what it is. People think they could change anything on this planet because of emotions. No. Math is math. Math will always be there, whether you're angry or you're happy or you're fucking in between, whatever. Math will still exist, and it'll still be 10 out of 10 is a 1. It's 100%. You see? I am offended. I'm very offended. I'm incredibly offended. I've had enough. I've had it up to here. I am at a 10 out of 10 for being offended. I couldn't possibly be more offended about this. As someone who does this for a living, I've had enough. Big Papa Phil says, he who creates the rating scale gets to decide what the values correspond to. See, that's correct. Big Papa Phil is correct, but here's the problem. Not everyone uses the same rating scale, and that's really the problem. When you have aggregate sites like Metacritic, taking everyone's subjective rating scale, but then they're collectively taking all that stuff together and treating it objectively, that's where the problems begin. That's exactly where the problems begin. When IGN, GameSpot, Kotaku, what's the other one? There's like 5 or 6 big major media outlets. And then every little reviewer. When everyone is using a 10 scale, all right? But then, but the 10 scale's different for Joe versus Tom versus Dick versus Harry versus Steve, you know. And then I should throw in some female names because then people will be offended. Jane, Justine, Mary, Marigold, you know. And then I should put in some generic names so you don't know the gender because people will get offended. Pat. Moon Unit. There you go. So anyway, you see the point I'm saying is, if no one uses the same scale, everyone's scale is different, then we can't do aggregate reviews. We just can't. You could say this game is 10 out of 10 on the Angry Joe scale. All right, now I understand what that means. It's not perfect, but it's maximum enjoyment for Angry Joe, right? But when you say 10 out of 10 and then your score gets tossed into an aggregate review somewhere, now it's not subjective anymore. It's objective. You see? And that's a huge problem. And that's what I mean. To me, I feel like you're being irresponsible as a content creator and a reviewer if you're saying a game is flawless, but then you say it has flaws. I mean, listen, I really like Elden Ring. I do. So far, it is my favorite game of this year. I will say that much. It is. It's my favorite game of this year. But there's absolutely no fucking way it's a 10 out of 10. I would actually feel bad giving this game a 10 out of 10. Feel like I would be doing an insane disservice to myself and you and the internet if I said it was a 10 out of 10. Okay? Okay. What's hilarious is everyone basically saying things like, oh, I can't take this, Phil's wrong. But can you disprove that 10 out of 10 means 100%? Can you disprove that people don't take those number scores to make aggregate scores that are not correct because they're not scaled? They're not. You know, even their own companies don't scale them right. IGN will say one game's at 10, one game's at 8, one game's at 2. And then you'll read the reviews. It's like the number you gave it doesn't even make sense to what you said in the review. So how can you even argue that numbers make sense and should be used when even if the own company can't fucking have an editor that scales them right so it makes sense? You know what I'm saying? I'm not. Gojira says, oh, Phil's on his moral high ground right now. Moral? This has nothing to do with moral high ground. It's math. It's fucking scientific. It's black and white. That's the point I'm trying to make here. Is that it's actually not about emotion right now. It's about fact. It's about actual hard facts that 100% cannot be said is not a whole. It's a whole. Complete. Completion. No, see, I'm not clueless about how the industry works. I don't like how it works. There's a difference between Phil just doesn't get it or Phil doesn't like it. I don't like it. I hate this. I hate that we get these games that, oh, it's the feels games. You know, 2 years ago with Last of Us 2, the game was far from perfect, actually had some really bad writing flaws. So many people said it was a 10 out of 10. It's like, what are you talking about? Can you objectively explain how this makes sense, how this makes sense, how this couldn't have been improved, how this couldn't have been improved? Well, we don't care. It's all about the feels. 10 out of 10, you know? And I feel like this is another situation where it's a game that is being way, way, way overhyped because it was a game that got a lot of people into this kind of franchise who couldn't play it previously or didn't want to play it previously because they didn't feel like it was accessible enough, right? It's a game that way, way, way oversold, let's be honest. The amount of people that bought this game is insane. How many people actually beat it, right? Probably not a high percentile. I would guess it's probably the highest amount of people who beat it and platinumed it of any FromSoft game because so many people just bought it. But how many people just dropped it, played it for a while and dropped the game, right? But my God, the amount that I see of this insane amount of fucking crazy hype for this game on the internet is just, it's out of control. For a game that a lot of people, if you say it's not even the best game they've ever put out before, you know? Anyway, I think we go on enough of a tangent on this one. I don't even know how we got here. I'm confused now. I think we were talking about something here and it got sidetracked. By the way, thank you, Zoya, for the super chat, who's trying to bait me into talking about support on the stream, which is absolutely ridiculous. Please don't do that. All right? The amount of support that I get on a stream is my business, not yours. And it's not your place to call it out or talk about it. So please don't do that. I know you're trying to bait me and I'm not stupid. Okay. Pirate King, there's nothing wrong with liking the game. What are you talking about? Oh my God. I swear it's like impossible for me to make a point on the internet without every person spinning it into something it's not. I didn't say, didn't ever intend, right? Christian says he just started playing Bugsnax and he loves it. Your first playthrough? You never played it before? It's a pretty good game. It's shockingly good. The further you get in, you'll be like, what the hell? Seriously. Vigil Knight says 10 out of 10 doesn't mean the game's flawless. Where are you getting that from? Math. Math. 10 divided by 10 is 1. 100% a whole. A perfect entity. It's called math. Derek, welcome to the stream. Good to have you here. Okay. All right, guys. It is time to end this pre-stream podcast at this point. I've had enough. Mr. Puffy Nipples tipped me $1.50. So I don't want to sound like a dick. When did you notice you started getting gray in the beard? It's a good question. I'm trying to exactly remember, because I remember I started getting a few white hairs here and there in the first couple of years that I had moved out here. Like maybe 2015, 2016, I started to notice a few here, a few there. But then it just started coming in heavy, probably around, I would think, 2018. And then the last year or two, it's been crazy. Like, I actually now have more gray hairs on my face than I have, like, dark hairs. I do. This whole beard is almost white. All over here is all white. Like, you remember when I used to have this, you know, called 5 o'clock shadow or whatever, it used to be really dark. And you notice it's really not anymore. It's because it's all gray hairs or white hairs. Actually, they're white. They're not gray. They're actually white, like, transparent hairs. Pigmentless hairs. Okay. So thank you, Mr. Puffy Nipples. What the fuck kind of name is that? Now I actually have to put that on my leaderboard too, because it's the only tip of the day. So I'm stuck with Mr. Puffy Nipples on the leaderboard, at least for now, until someone else tips, which hopefully happens, so that I can get his name off the leaderboard. Okay. All right, guys. Let us just take a really brief break for the restroom, and then we'll get started with Bug Snacks, the Isle of Big Snacks. Does that sound good? All right. Excuse me. All right, let's do it.